Carlos Munos Fara, astronomer, scientist, and seismologist. For more than half a century, he has amazed the world with his astronomical and geophysical predictions. One of his most astounding predictions was published in the newspaper El Sur from Concepcion of January 19, 1939. That day, he predicted that on January 24 of that year, at 7:10 p.m., an earthquake would devastate Chile, but no one believed. Indeed, with only 4 hours apart, his prediction was fulfilled. At 11:29 p.m., for 18 seconds, Chile shook. A major earthquake destroyed 5 provinces in southern Chile, killing 40,000 people. The people were terrorized, and everything was destroyed. In the minds of those who survived, there was the memory of the man who had announced it a few days before. The predictions of Munos Fara continued to confirm as time went by. A series of earthquakes between May 21 and 25, 1960, the powerful tsunami that reached Alaska, the Great Earthquake of 1965 in Ligua, and the earthquake in 1985 in Valparaiso, Chile, are some of his correct predictions that modern scientists haven't been able to explain yet. With his dynamic geoscience, this genius scientist has surpassed all laws of modern astronomy. Through his calculations, not only predicted numerous earthquakes, geothermal explosions and climate changes in all parts of the world. He also discovered new comets and planets, deciphering their trajectories, mass, brightness, color, sidereal coordinates, and orbital motions with amazing accuracy, before being seen by the large telescopes in the world. This generated an astonishment in the world, leading to the Royal Astronomical Society of London to reshape its policy, stating that due to the unusual case of Mr. Munos Fara, all new comets would take the name of the one who first calculated, and not from the one who discovered it by chance with a telescope. Munos Fara was also the first to give knowledge about the trajectory and disturbances the famous Halley comet would go through in its passage through the solar system. He indicated that at the last second, the comet would alter the speed and go closer to the sun. Indeed, on February 12, 1996, that really happened. The bright comet got ahead 36 hours in its orbit and spent more time near the sun to 85 million kilometers. After 59 years of research, this great scientist shudders again the foundations of modern astronomy, and in his 90 years old, he breaks his silence to reveal the trajectory and the terrible consequences that, very soon, Hercolubus, the comet planet, as he calls it, will have on our world. It is very interesting that you did a study and traced with calculations and all the orbit of this comet planet. That you say it's a comet planet because its movement is not a normal thing.
No.
That it has different speeds.
It's a comet planet because it has an elliptical orbit like a comet. And because it has great mass as a planet. And that's why I call it Comet Planet. And it is a planet with a tail.
Munos Fara explains that this great star, approaching loaded with cosmic energy, does not respect the established laws of celestial mechanics. It has an elliptical orbit and travels between our sun and a black sun that is 32 billion kilometers away. So here in this chart you show us that on this side is the Earth. Earth's orbit around the Sun.
Yes, sir.
And he enters the orbit here, passing very close to our Earth.
"14 million kilometers away."
14 million kilometers. So here, in your chart, you show us the dead star, the dead sun.
This one. And around this dead sun, it rotates. Here, at 92 kilometers per second.
So, in addition to these 92 kilometers per second, it has another speed which is more terrifying, isn't it?
It has 3 speeds.
Munos Fara confirms that this planet travels at 3 speeds, one around the black sun at 92 kilometers, another, close to our sun, at 76 kilometers, and a third full speed.
The full speed it keeps for half the orbit, at 300 kilometers. That is 1,000th of the speed of light.
It is very fast. Soon, events will take place that will allow Hercolubus be seen with the naked eye.
This body will not go unnoticed. Everyone will see.
There will be a lot of confusion.
More than confusion.
And they will give many interpretations about it.
Many.
Astronomers will say that what we will see is Mars or any other planet, but in reality is Hercolubus. What consequences will it bring to our planet?
The most terrifying. And then, everyone holds up as they can.
Munos Fara predicts 3 major earthquakes.
I've calculated 3 triangulated spots of high approached seismicity, the northern Mediterranean coast, between France and Spain, the southern Pacific coast, from Valparaiso to Arequipa, and Java, Sumatra, and Borneo. 3 spots. These spots will go through earthquakes of volcanic nature.
Hercolubus will cause devastating earthquakes and a great transformation.
The large gravitational field that brings this new star, which hasn't penetrated for 13,000 years, and that 13,000 years ago were the times of the lost Atlantis. Has resonance and effects that produce reflections and weaknesses. Will cause a big change.
This big change. It is since 1940, isn't it, that you have studied this star? Here are 59 years of documentation. And that major change, is it human change? And besides, the Earth, because it indicates a pole shift.
It's geophysical and human.
And it is said that there will be a change of the Earth's magnetic pole.
There are so many things, which is unfortunate. Mankind is not ready. The change comes. The destruction comes. And above all, will affect humanity in its existence, in its production, and in its own subsistence.